Well, it's another Wednesday, so we have to bring you in business. And it's brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Government resolve to expand ports in the country continues unabated. The Tema port expansion, for instance, has received a major boost. Chief Executive of Meridian Port Systems, the company in charge of the expansion project, Mohammed Samara, has assured that the project is on course. He spoke to Joy Business Nova Nako Hayford.
Let's look at this project. I mean, very huge project. You're looking at the funding as far as this project is concerned. You were able to secure some 100 million from the IFC. What does this mean to you as far as this project is concerned? Because you're supposed to be getting over 600 billion, and this is the first tranche has been released to you.
Yes, actually, the first phase is $1 billion US. So the project finance was made up of two sides, shareholders' equity and also funding from the IFC to the tune of 667 million. So the contract of funding requires the shareholders to put at least a third of the capital required, through injection of fresh equity, etc. And they did. And basically, as you can see today, and before we get the 100, or just as we got the 100 million, we have already spent the 300 million on the ground in terms of breakwater, etc. Today, we are 2.5 kilometers out of the 3.5 kilometers of breakwater, and today we claimed about, I would say, 60% of phase one, and we've just downed the 22nd caisson out of 70. So basically, we are on track, and we have also committed to the cranes, and we have running many things in parallel. So we've spent already our 300 million that prompted the IFC to release the first drawdown from the project finance facility.
So what was the arrangement with the IFC? So this 100 million is also exhausted. How much are you expecting? What are the tranches, the kind of arrangement that you have with them, until you're able to draw down that 600 billion?
Well, it's ongoing. I mean, as we progress, we will draw down. It's up to us to draw down. The facility has been approved. The 667 million has been approved by the IFC. It's up to us to call for the funds as we need. So basically,
there's no special arrangement?
No, we were not applying. We have already, the commitment has been done for the 667, and the drawdowns is us. But, as soon as you draw down from the bank, the interest ticker will start to tick on you. So we don't want to pay interest on something that we're not utilizing. But there isn't any impediment or another application to bring money down. The whole 667 has been committed to MPS.
Now, let's look at, you talk about the fact that this is a state-of-the-art facility.
Indeed.
And if you talk of state-of-the-art, what are you actually talking about? Are we talking about full digitization kind of port, where you don't have to have a lot of things being done manually or using manpower, and so you're going to have, technology used in the clearing processes? What are you talking about when you say state-of-the-art?
We're not going for automation yet, because automation in the port industry has not reached its optimal level. I mean, automation today is, I would say, is an R&D, research and development project in many cases. What we are doing is we're deploying all the technology that will make a man's job efficient. I'll give you an example. Instead of having, the operator looking and watching carefully, trying to put the spreader on top of the container, and then after that take it and put it on top of the truck. Those two locations, truck, ground level, and also container on board, will be a calibrated position on the crane. And the crane has memory and computer. So as soon as he buckles up the first container, and he says, send it back to truck, the spreader will hoist the crane all the way up to 10 centimeters probably above the truck, and then thereafter the operator will land it safely, and then unbuckle it. And then when he says, go back to get the next one, the crane knows from where it picked that one, and it knows it was 5 high. So the spreader will go all the way back to 4 high, position itself on an auto fast speed, here, and position itself for the operator to go and buckle up the next crane, next container, and bring it back. So over here, it's not an automation. There is an operator. The man is not going. But what we are doing, we are enhancing the productivity of this man on this crane. And I can tell you, those cranes, that once they are delivered, they will be the latest cranes with the latest technology on this planet. No other port will have a more advanced crane than what we have. There has been not one challenge and kind of not anticipated. Because this project, we're not building inside an existing facility. We have taken the coastline. It's a beach. No one is on it. And, well, there was, but it's been taken care of. And basically, our challenge was weather. And we are now in the most challenging period. We had a storm a couple of days ago. And that has taken a few meters of our work. But that's expected to an extent, not wished for, but was expected. That we see, for example, 10 tons of rock to go from here, 5 meters from there, and so on and so forth. So weather was this year's weather is quite aggressive as compared with previous years, as we all see.
I see. When you talk of transshipment, what do you think we are lacking to attract, especially even the landlocked countries? I mean, you talk of you talk of Mali, and those are Niger and those other countries. You are increasing the capacity here. You even want to see the Nigerians and all the rest coming. What are we lacking that you think, beyond the transshipment issue, that if it is done, of course, it will open us up and it will become a port that it doesn't matter. You have IB crews by us. You have importers wanting to come to Tema and then have their goods probably shipped by road or whatever to their countries.
Right. There is two things here. We have transshipment and transit. Transshipment is from ship to ship, shipping it from one ship to another ship to take it to another port. And then we have transit is from ship to land, and most likely to landlocked country. That's the transit into Burkina and Niger and a bit of Mali. Now the transit, they do like us, the landlocked countries. And we deliver to them a good corridor, so to speak. But we lack 2 elements at the moment, or maybe 3, I would say.
I see. When you talk of transshipment, what do you think we are lacking to attract, especially even the landlocked countries? I mean, you talk of you talk of Mali, and those are Niger and those other countries. You are increasing the capacity here. You even want to see the Nigerians and all the rest coming. What are we lacking that you think, beyond the transshipment issue, that if it is done, of course, it will open us up and will become a port that it doesn't matter. You have IB crews by us. You have importers wanting to come to Tema and then have their goods probably shipped by road or whatever to their countries.
Right. There is 2 things here. We have transshipment and transit. Transshipment is from ship to ship, shipping it from one ship to another ship to take it to another port. And then we have transit is from ship to land, and most likely to landlocked country. That's the transit into Burkina and Niger and a bit of Mali. Now the transit, they do like us, the landlocked countries. And we deliver to them a good corridor, so to speak. But we lack 2 elements at the moment, or maybe 3, I would say. 1, we don't have rail. You can't compete, road with rail. If there is rail, the rail is far more efficient. You set the train on the go at night, it will drive the whole night, and it will reach destination the following morning. We don't have that. So we don't have rail. We need rail to connect us with Ouagadougou and beyond. So that's the first one. The second one, the trucking. And here I must say the initiatives taken by the office of the vice president in reducing and easing and reducing the amount of checkpoints. Because we had something like, I think World Bank did some study, it was 34, 35, almost 40 checkpoints between here and the border at Paga. So this has been eased. I think they have reduced the number of checkpoints. So basically, traffic started to flow in more comfort. And the last is the kind of the customs formality, the transit, and then those who really come to make a chance to kind of play a fraudulent game, you know, to book the cargo as if it's going to Burkina, but you know, somewhere along the route in Ghana, in Koko, Kumasi, or Tamale, or wherever, they discharge part of it or all of it, papers. But this is for customs to control, you know. And the worst thing we can do is to kill the whole entire trade because there's 4 or 5 people that have stolen from the nation. We should actually punish those harshly and not punish the whole entire trade, because this is a lot of money. You know, the trucks spend money in Ghana, the Burkina Bay trucks. And that brings...
You sit here at the port. For many years you sit here, beyond these that you've enumerated. What do you also think is the challenge of the importers and exporters that you see, that you think that this must be resolved in order to allow free trade or flow of trade, let me put it that way?
I don't know. There is quite a few models worldwide where, for example, some states decided to have a flat kind of import duty instead of having, you know, I mean, there is models. These things are just in, you know, I don't know. Here, the Ministry of Finance need to model that. You know, it's difficult for us port operators to comment on it. But from what we see in other countries, you know, there is a flat rate, let's say 5%, 10% on all imports. Then basically people know exactly the customs beforehand, but they don't try to declare it something else. Instead of paying 20%, you know, he will bring it to the 10% bracket or something. So we need to find, you know, the best way to, you know, discourage people from trying to play, you know, to pay less duty by fixing, you know, because if we fix a smaller amount of duty that everybody will pay on every shipment, then basically we don't have one shipment paying less and the shipment that's supposed to be paying more is not paying more, you know, because the people are playing with the prices, etc.
But very finally, what impact do you think your project will have on the Ghanaian economy and the region as large?
Wow, that's quite a big one, you know, because it will have a massive impact on the economy of Ghana as a total, that's one, and it will have an impact on the community, too. On the first, the shipping line, the impact will come from probably 2 or 3 areas. On the shipping line, we're going to reduce freight, you know, so we're going to encourage the shipping line to come and do more business here, and we're going to, as Ghanaian company, we're going to earn more revenue to the state for volume that is not normally handled in Ghana. It's handled in Abidjan, in Lomé, or somewhere else. Transship cargo not destined for Ghana in here and have revenue. So we're going to add revenue to our economy. That's one. We're going to reduce the cost of doing business. MPS have reduced freight to the tune of $500. You know, and imagine that we are importing 500,000 TEUs and we have reduced $500 between removing the congestion surcharge that was existing plus reduction in the freight itself. So $500 times 500,000 TEU import. So that's $250 million money that did not leave the economy in the first place, stayed here. This represents a huge amount of money if you, as an added value to the economy. Money not going, good physical cash in the banks, and also good money in the pockets of importers and manufacturers. So that is good for the economy.
And that's it for AM Business. Well, we'll have an upload of this segment right on our official channel on YouTube, MyJoyNews TV. Please make sure that you check it out from now. But please know, we're the official channel for the National Science and Maths Quiz. And this morning, we're going to try your intellect on some questions related to the whole program itself. We'll be asking some key questions, and then also we have some souvenirs and some giveaways for you. So we'll do all that in a bit, but please interact with us. Facebook JoyNews on TV, and also we have a Twitter handle at JoyNews on TV. That's it for you in business.